Okay, so technical challenges. One of the things in Herbalife, it's always, what do we say? If you can type it in, it's called no problem. Not sure where I got to there, but as I say, welcome to everybody around the world. And Rohn, thanks for inviting me on to do this workshop. It's one of the favorite workshops that Deborah and myself have had the opportunity to be exposed to. And really, Jim Rohn made such a major impact in Deborah and my life, but not only our lives, but so many, I would imagine millions of people around the world. And one of the biggest things that he wanted people to do was to go out and share this type of information with as many people as possible, and for each of us to then in turn share that with other people. So that's really what tonight is about. Tonight is about giving each other the opportunity to live to each other's fullest dreams, and to help our visions and our dreams come true by allowing us firstly to create that vision, and then secondly to put things into action. Just a quick update for some of you who I haven't had a chance to meet. Deborah and I got involved in the business as customers first, and we got started in New Zealand. We were new immigrants to the country, and we got started as customers and got incredible results in the product. And we became success builders, and within the first 10 days we made over $1,000. And we got very, very excited with that, and got involved in the training program. Within 90 days, Deborah had lost nearly 19 kilos, amazing health results. My blood pressure and cholesterol came down, and we got very excited with what was possible with helping other people with these products. And we've always stuck to the products, and that's really kept us in the business, and it's been the foundation of our business. And during that time in the early days, we got exposed to Jim Rohn. In fact, the first time was at an extravaganza that we had to travel to another country, and then we had the unique opportunity to get in a workshop with him. That's where we bought all his information. We were $30,000 in debt. And we realized that if we didn't get the information, like going to extravaganzas, getting to the big events, and actually changing ourselves, then things probably weren't going to change for us. And that became was one of Jim Rohn's worldwide quotes that he's famous for, is for things to change, you have to change. And we realized that if we kept on doing what we were doing, we wouldn't be able to change, what our lifestyle was like. As I said, we were $30,000 in debt. We now live in Singapore. We have business all over the world. We've got incredible people that we've been able to meet, amazing people in our team, and we just have an incredible lifestyle. And we're more excited now. Changes every time. This is going to be an interesting training. In 1950, a class at Harvard, they studied them, and they took 3% of the class over 30 years later had 97% of the wealth, or they were working in the field that they had the goals and dreams written out for. So that's how powerful goals are. I look at almost every distributor in the world, the president's team and chairman's club members and founder circles, almost every single one of them, they give a lot of their success to the information that they learned from Jim Rohn, and putting that information into practice. Before we get started, I just want all of you to consider where you were 5 or 10 years ago. Just consider what your dreams were 5 or 10 years ago, and really ask yourself, what's changed? What's really changed? Because I don't know about you, but for me, it's just flashes through. Every year gets faster and faster and faster, and of that. So I'm going to ask you to just ponder about that before we get started, and think where you were 5, 10 years ago and where you are now. And so many of us, time just goes by. We sort of go through the years in automatic mode. So this workshop is to allow each of us, or rather give us the information, so that we don't have to go through life in automatic mode. We can truly, truly live the life that we want to do with the vehicle of Herbalife, but not just in Herbalife, but in all areas of your life, in your family life, in your spiritual life, in, you know, your sport, your health, every area of your life that you want to do. So we're going to sit through a workshop now that's just it's a very brief workshop, but as Bjorn said, it is a workshop. So I'm going to hand this over now to Jim Rohn, and I wish he was here now. Many of you got a chance to meet him, and I know that you will enjoy this section. So let's get going to Jim.
Bring Jim back on for the afternoon. Please help me in welcoming Mr. Jim Rohn.
I was positive when I got older and had less hair that you could get ready quicker. Now it takes more time to arrange each one. I mean, it's a little difficult. Anyway, is everybody okay? If you're ready to go, say, let's go. I like this crowd. We should do this again sometime. This is fabulous. I'm telling you. You guys have worked so hard. In fact, you've worked as hard as I have, or any of the speakers. Taking notes is not an easy deal. Thinking, pondering while you're taking notes, it's hard work. But you know, a crash program for 2 or 3 days, we can tolerate that. Every weekend, you know, it'd be a little tough. Couldn't be done. But you've done such a fabulous job. I appreciate that. Okay, let's do the workshop now in setting goals, developing a good plan for the next 10 years, especially. Some of the things you want to accomplish. Let our dreams pull us through. Our objectives sustain us, get us up early, keep us up late, all right? Drive us to do the disciplines, read the books, take the classes, study, whatever is necessary. If the dreams are strong enough and the purpose is strong enough, we will pay the price. Then after we've accomplished, here's what you'll say: small price to pay. Okay, so let's go to work. Entitle this part of it now, Workshop. And under the workshop, I'm going to ask a series of questions, and it's going to serve as a model so that you can teach this to your children, you can teach it in classes, you can teach it anywhere. And I'm going to give you the question first and then give you time to work the exercise, okay? So you jot down the question and then work the exercise. And if for lack of time, we have to cut you working the exercise a little bit short, it's something you can continue, you know, after you've gotten home or whatever. You can continue doing the exercise. But I want to make sure I get through it all so that you have this format to follow on setting goals, because I think it's so valuable. Okay. Under the workshop, now here's the first question. What 5 things have you already accomplished that you're proud of? Let's take some credit before we go to work on the future. We've accomplished some things in the past. Let's give ourselves credit for that. When you're working with kids, this is important. What 5 things have you already accomplished that you're proud of? So I want you to make a note of that question, and then I want you to do the exercise. Make a list of 5 things that you can think of that you've already accomplished that you're proud of. And we've probably got some gold medal winners, and you know, no telling who we've got in the audience. I did a tour of Australia once with Mark Tewksbury, gold medal winner. And I'm sure under this exercise he would have put that on his list. Won the gold medal in Barcelona. I also did that tour with David Chilton, who wrote the book, The Wealthy Barber. If you haven't got it, you got to get it. Might add it to Charlie's list. The Wealthy Barber by David Chilton. It became a #1 bestseller in Canada. Sold 600,000 copies first year. A bestseller in Canada is like 50,000, 60,000. 600,000. And David used to say, you know, I'd be #1 in Canada if Jim Rohn had quit pushing the Bible. So list 5 things that you've already accomplished that you're proud of. graduated third in my high school class. I was really proud of that. Took a lot of hard work. Now, if there's only 3, it's not that great. You got that now? A list of 5 things you've already accomplished that you're proud of. Sometimes even for kids, you have to do a little coaching. You know, sports or school or whatever. Did you win a blue ribbon? Did you come in first? So this is part of this format's to do a little coaching to help people, you know, get through these exercises. Okay, 5 things you've already accomplished that you're proud of. Okay, now here's the next exercise, and this is going to take some time. Next question. What do you want in the next 10 years? I want you to make a list of at least 50 items. Now, this is not what you think you can get. This is what you want. If everything fell into place and you could have anything you wanted in the next 10 years, what would that list be? Not something you think you can earn, not something you think you can buy, not something you think you can, you know, finally be so successful you can get. This is what would really do it for you the next 10 years. I want you to make this list. And here's the deal now. I want you to put each item one under the other. Not side by side, but one under the other. And make as long a list as you possibly can in the time I'm going to give you. One underneath the other, because we're going to do some things with this list when you finish. Okay? Just start writing now, as fast as you can. Abbreviate where you can. Make a longer list. If something's private, put it in code so nobody can figure it out if they got a hold of this list. One underneath the other. As fast as you can write. Just let your dreams, okay, run free here. Not what you think you can get, but what you want. If everything fell into place and you could have whatever you wanted the next 10 years, what would that be? Little things, major things, insignificant things, doesn't matter. Just make the list. Places you want to visit. I've been to a lot of countries, but I got a long list of countries I haven't been to yet. Last year I checked Cyprus off my list. What countries haven't you been to that you'd like to visit the next 10 years? Cities you'd like to visit. I've never been to Venice. I've been around the world and all over Italy, and I've never been to Venice, so it's on my list. I haven't been to Egypt. It's on my list. I haven't been to Saudi Arabia. You'd think I've been everywhere, you know, 39 years. Not yet. What experiences would you like to have in the next 10 years? Parachute out of an airplane? Star in a movie? Play in a rock and roll band? Win a gold medal in the Olympics? Start a new family? Learn to play a musical instrument? Try a new sport? Bill Bailey's after me to go skiing. You know, I'm not really a winter person. I let my friends go north, I go south. They say, do you ski? I said, yes, water ski. But he's got me convinced. I have to go try it. He likes the snow, I like the sand. What would you like to learn? Next 10 years. Now I've got to learn to play golf. John Batanti, Bill Bailey on my case. Now it's a test of friendship. Learn to play golf or don't come see us anymore. What do you want for your children? That's a whole list in itself. Education, places you want to take them. My parents traveled. So valuable for me. I missed 21 weeks of high school. My junior and senior year combined. 21 weeks I missed. Still graduated third. Because my parents took me. My parents took me everywhere. They wanted me to meet, and they wanted me to see, and they wanted me to do. What new skill would you like to learn over the next 10 years? When I started learning new skills at age 25, it changed my life. I learned sales, multiplied my income by 5 first year. I learned how to find good people, recruiting, multiplied my income some more. Learned how to organize, learned how to promote, rewarding people for small steps of progress. I became so good at that. My income went crazy. Maybe you'd like to give seminars, write some books. The next 10 years. Some things right away, within the next year, some on out there. 10 years is a pretty good chunk of time. Some changes you'd like to make, some habits you'd like to drop, some new ones you'd like to acquire. You might make a list of the people you want to meet over the next 10 years. I got Buck Owens coming up right into this month. Me and Buck. Bakersfield, oil patch country. It'll be so much fun to check Buck Owens off my list. I was having breakfast the other morning. Guess who was there? Milton Berle. Uncle Milty. 93 years old. Going strong. Gosh, it was incredible. Because I'd never met him before. Benevolence goals. Maybe you've got a long list of projects you'd like to support. Now, this is not what you think you can do. This is what you'd really like to do. Mark Hughes had a passion for helping kids that had drug problems. One year he gave $8 million. $8 million. When I first met him, he couldn't give 800. Finally, he could give 8 million. Wow. Andrew Carnegie said, I'm going to spend the first half of my life accumulating money, and I'm going to spend the last half of my life giving it all away. Wow. That's big time. In the first half of his life, he accumulated $400 million, which back then was a lot of money. Guess what he did the last half of his life? He gave it all away. So keep your list going. What's got you turned on? Maybe you've been turned off until you got here this weekend. I want you to start working on turning your lights on for accomplishments. You can't believe what you can accomplish if you'll just work hard on this list now. You know, it's amazing how adults have, a problem with this, right? Let's see. And kids don't have any problem. They'd be asking for extra sheets of paper by now. I mean, kids say, you mean anything I want the next 10 years? Yes, write it all down. They would go like crazy. a cabin in the mountains, upstairs maid, a cook, a chauffeur. How about your investments, properties? One of my goals was someday to be financially independent. We're going to talk about that a little later. My father convinced me years and years ago that someday I should be debt-free. Owe no one anything. My mother and father practiced that. When I inherited the estate, all the lands and the house and the buildings and the things and the cars and everything, guess how much was owing when I inherited it all? 0. Not 1 penny. Everything free. It is a glorious feeling for no one to have a claim on anything you got. Maybe you want to be in the top 10 in wealth. Is Bill Gates still number 1? The top 10? Or the top 20? I mean, you know, whatever. Maybe you're working on a new invention. Congratulations. Someday. Who knows? Make a list of your health goals. Got to have a good physical support system over the next 10 years. How healthy do you want to be? Eliminate some illnesses, eliminate some weaknesses. Get strong for competition in the 21st century. One of my goals was to have a residence in each season, for each season. Finally check that off my list. So I could spend winter here and summer here, autumn here and spring here. A residence for each season. An apartment in Manhattan. A ranch in Brazil. What would really do it for you the next 10 years? Some goals for your career, your business. Some productivity goals. Okay, are you doing well? Does anybody have 50 yet? Okay, we've got quite a few. We're going to take like 3 or 4 more minutes, so just start putting everything you can think of on here. I put a little revenge on my first list. Some of the people that said I couldn't do well, they were on that first list. Couldn't wait to get my new car, drive it up on their lawn, and say, oh, pardon me, here's the money to have it fixed. I mean, I had some stuff on my list. Something that would give you incredible satisfaction. Old Testament, God says, vengeance is mine, all mine. No wonder he wants it all. It feels so good. If I was God, I'd want it all. What would really do it for you? Some scores to settle, gently but deliberately. My Japanese friend, Toru Ikeda, San Jose, California, put on his first list a Caucasian gardener. I thought, hey, that's good, Toru. What would do it for you? Okay. Become a wine connoisseur. I'm learning more and more how to make wine. It's an interesting process. A hobby you'd like to start. collecting. New car. Become a race driver. I got this neat little motorhome, right? Put the dirt bike on the back, away I go. I'm now putting a fax machine in my motorhome, so I can be a little more in touch even when I'm gone. Here's my new mode for the future. In touch and out of reach. That's the new deal. Say, yes, you can, right? You can contact him, but you can't find him. For a while, he's gone. So, you know, what is your goal for the future? To get away. Something that would really serve you well in terms of refreshing, change of pace, skills you want to help teach your children. I taught my girls how to swim, how to dive. Such great satisfaction when they used to say, "Watch me, Daddy, watch me. Look how good I am. You taught me, watch me." Got a good phrase for you. This is a good one to put in here. All life seems to wish to reward its benefactor. All life wishes to reward its benefactor. If you take especially good care of the flowers, they will bloom especially bright for you. If you teach your children, they will want to show off for you. "Daddy, look how good I am. You're the one that taught me. You want to watch me do it again?" All life takes delight in rewarding its benefactor. What classes would you like to teach? My friend Lydia Cologne, who 20 years ago invested $1, now she's a millionaire. One of her specialties is helping young parents do a little marriage counseling. Right? Some of those early years, right? 2, 3, 4, 5 years, those early years are pretty tough to get through. What specialty would you like to learn? Make a contribution to society. Make a contribution to your community. Does most everybody have a list of 50 now? Let me see the hands. How many's got 50? Okay, that's almost everybody. Okay, now put a little star there, right, that says you can continue this list. This doesn't mean this is all you get. Say, no, this is just to get you started, because I promise you when you get back home, you'll think of 50 more and 50 more and 50 more that you couldn't think of while you were here, and this list can grow and grow and grow. Now, here's what this also means. If you have a lot more time than we have today, you can take plenty of time to just have people make as long a list as, possible. Okay, now we're going to do some things with this list. Here's the next exercise. I want you to look at each item on this list you've made and give each item a number. The number being a 1, 3, 5, or 10. And this is why. I want you to look at an item and say, I think that would take about 1 year. Another item, you say, I think that would take about 3 years. Another item, I think that would take 5. And another item, looks like that's going to take 10. Give each item now a number of what you think it might take to achieve that goal. A 1, a 3, a 5, or a 10. Just somewhere close. Doesn't have to be exact. That's about a 1. That's about a 3-year goal. That's about a 5-year goal. That's about a 10-year goal. If it's less than 1 year, just make it a year. If it's more than 10, just make it 10. 10 plus. Just approximate 1, 3, 5, 10. If you finish early, you can add some more to your list. Running a marathon. Now, as soon as you've given each item a number, I want you to now go through and count them. How many ones, how many threes, how many fives, how many tens? And then just make a little list of those numbers. How many ones, threes, fives, tens? This is going to be interesting. Now, I'd like to have a woman and a man volunteer to give me your tabulator list. How many ones, threes, fives, and tens? Right out here in the center somewhere. Yes, sir? Would you stand up and give me your numbers? How many ones? How many threes? 12 threes? 17 fives? Thank you very much. Now that's a bit unusual. How many of you had no 10-year goals? Okay, quite a few, right? Isn't that interesting? Here's what that means. You're not thinking out that far. You're thinking more short-term than long-term. So the number you had, what was it again on 10-year goals? 14. See, that's... If someone had 0, someone had 14, that's a lot of difference in thinking long range. So that's all that's for, is just to help you to think more long range. Now, I need a woman to give me a list. Yes, ma'am. How many ones? What is it? 23. Wow, that's pretty good. How many ones did you have, sir? 7. Isn't that interesting? Okay, threes, how many threes? 16 threes, fives, 7, and tens. 10 tens. Wow, you've been busy. Okay. She's done this workshop before, so she knew what was coming. See, that's pretty good. But now you get what I'm talking about? No 10-year goals means you're not thinking out quite that far. And it wouldn't hurt, you know, within the next year to start stretching on out there 10, 15, 20 years away, what you'd like to be accomplishing and what you'd like to have when that time frame finally rolls around. Okay. Now, make these notes. When you've accomplished some goals, you need some more to accomplish. Next, it's very important when you reach a goal that's significant or important to you to celebrate. So just jot that down. Celebrate a significant accomplishment. Or it doesn't have to be that significant. If it's important to you, it doesn't have to be world-changing or life-changing. If it's just a goal that's really important to you, you finally reached it, celebrate. Now, hopefully on your list of goals you had some family goals. And if the family together finally reaches a goal, jot this down, celebrate with the family. And if you're checking it off, let each member of the family put their check mark on this goal because the whole family worked on this one. Now, here's what this will do. It will help each member of your family to make a longer list of goals. Wow, if we can accomplish this, think of what else we could do. The same is true of you individually. When you accomplish something, check it off, celebrate. It'll help you to grab your list, wherever it is, and say, hey, if I can get here, I can double that original list. So celebration creates excitement to develop a longer list. You also need goals ongoing. When the early astronauts went to the moon, some of them, when they came back from the moon, had psychological problems. Some of them drank too much, got into other difficulties. And one of the reasons is, where do you go now that you've been to the moon? So here's what they did later. They made sure that the astronauts later who came back from the moon had plenty of projects to keep them busy after they had been to the moon. And the same is true of you and me. Goals, after you've reached them, another list. After you've reached those, another list. My father lived to be 93. You can't imagine the goals he had. One of his goals when he was 92 was to get his driver's license renewed. Guess what he got it renewed for? 4 years. At age 92, he got his driver's license renewed for 4 years. Now, he didn't live long enough to... If he'd have thought about it more, I think he would have lived 2 or 3 more years just to make sure he filled all that out. So he only lived to be 93, but at 92, got my driver's license renewed for 4 years. You can't imagine. He used to show his driver's license on everybody. Unbelievable. So, goals to replace goals that you've achieved, on and on. The rest of your life. Because the philosophy we discussed yesterday was what? How far should you go? Far as you can. How many books should you read? As many as you can. How many friends should you make? As many as you can. How much should you earn? As much as you can. That's it. What should you try to be? All you possibly can. And that's the purpose of this exercise, is just to stretch you, get you to think, get you to wonder, get you to ponder. I wonder what might be possible. If I could get everything I wanted, what would that be? Now here's the next exercise. Okay, jot down the question. On your list of 1-year goals, which are the 4 most important? Of your 1-year goals, which are the 4 most important? So now I want you to go back over your 1-year goals and pick out the 4 most important. You know, if you've only got 4 now, this is an easy exercise. But you might add some more to your 1-year list if you haven't got enough. And then pick out the 4 most important. This is what turned me on at age 25. Goals for accomplishment and personal progress. Once the fires were lit for me, I'm telling you, they have never gone out. Since I was 25 years old, no one has ever said to me, when are you gonna get going? When are you gonna get off the couch? When are you gonna get off the dime? I've never heard that since I was 25 and got all this taken care of. Wow. Here's what I've heard since I was 25. When are you gonna slow down? You can't visit that many countries, you're gonna have a heart attack and die. Amazing. By the way, you might stop and jot these notes down. Here's two excellent questions to jot down. And this is for mature people now, because these are kind of tough questions, especially one. Here's the first question. What's got you turned on? That's a good list to make. Here's what's got me turned on. Here's what's got me up early, staying up late, maximizing my abilities all day long. Here's the list of what's got me turned on. Now here's the next question. What's got you turned off? How come you don't have the zest and the vitality and the appetite for daily accomplishment? I started making a list of the things that had me turned off. And once I got that settled, and then started making a list of what had me turned on and what would turn me on in the future, I'm telling you, my life has never been the same. It was like a revolution, a personal revolution, a 180-degree turn. Wow. I can't say it strong enough. It's easy to get lazy in designing the day and designing the year and designing the future and designing what you want to accomplish and just cross your fingers and hope it'll all work out, that the favorable winds will blow it all your way. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. So this is part of the exercise. It's just, buckling down and making this list. And you got to continue this long after we've, turned out the lights and we've all gone home. Keep this up. And one of the best ways to keep it up, I've already covered yesterday, is what? Teach it. The key is to teach it. Jan was right. You don't need recognition. Just go give everybody you can think of that deserves it recognition. And your own self-satisfaction is recognition enough. If they never put a crown on your head, who cares? Okay, the 4 most important 1-year goals. Have you got those identified? Okay, now here's the next exercise. This will take now just a little bit of time. And the question is why? Why are those 4 goals important to you? Because the why is very important. And I'm going to give you some notes on that a little bit later. So just start a little paragraph. Why those 4 goals are important to you. A couple of more minutes for this one. And then we'll put a little star there that says continue this later. And then I have some more notes for you to take. A couple more minutes. Why? This is a good question to ask kids. Kids say, here's what I'd like to have, and you say, why is that? And if they can start describing the why. So now make these notes. Put a little star there now, and that star means that, you can add to it later. So make these notes now. Here's the first one. When the why gets stronger, the how gets easier. When the why gets big, powerful, strong, how seems to be so much easier. Without a strong enough why, the how seems to be too difficult almost to accomplish. Say, how do you manage your time? Hey, if you had strong and powerful enough goals, you'd figure out how to manage your time. You'd get a book on the subject. You'd do something to manage your time if it was worth it. If it's not worth it, why would you bother studying the art of managing your time if it really doesn't matter? But if it really mattered in the accomplishment of your goals and why you wish to accomplish them, see, you can do anything. You can get up any hour, read any book, take any class, make any change, develop any skill, do any discipline. I mean, you can do it all when this how and the why, or when the why starts to grow. The how gets simple. Excellent question to ask children. Why? What for? A little note. Maybe one of your goals was to have $1 million home on the hill overlooking Snake River Valley. Okay. That'd be a good goal. $1 million home. Here's the next question. What for? What for? I mean, a house is a house is a house with bricks and wood and walls and roof. The key, yes, $1 million home, that'd be wonderful, but what for? So now jot this down. Purpose is stronger than object. The object would be the house, and that'll pull. That's a worthy goal to go for, the object of the house. But here's a stronger goal, the purpose for the $1 million home. You say, well, it'll be the centerpiece of all the family's activity with all kinds of unique people coming and going and the influence and things will be happening in this place. See, now we're getting somewhere. So if you got that line, it's one of my best for the whole day. Purpose is stronger than object. It's okay to have plenty of objects to go for on your goal list. But always keep asking yourself the question, and sometimes it's good to just write it out. Here's why I want this money. Here's why I want this place. Here's why. And you start developing those reasons. And I'm telling you now, this starts to become incredibly powerful. Okay. Now here's some more notes. Some of your goals should be personal development. The person you wish to become. Develop skills that make you attractive to the marketplace. Develop the temperament and the attitude that makes you attractive to the business world. The attitude and the temperament that makes you a splendid father, studying the art. Because here's what's important. It's not what you get that makes you valuable. It's what you become that makes you valuable. I keep saying this year after year for the last 39 years publicly. It's the person you become. I admired my friend Mark Hughes for the fortune he made and the company he built. Guess what I admired more? the person he became in a short 44 years. He was unique. He bought the idea at age 19 of personal development and worked on it daily from that day until the time he died. The idea of becoming an attractive person, a skillful person, a good friend, a good colleague, a good partner, a good member of the round table, a contributor. See, that's the key, the person you become. Okay, now here's the next exercise. Isn't this good stuff? I mean, I'm telling you, this stuff changed my life, altered the course of my life. From milking cows to sitting on this stool. Incredible. What a journey. And part of the explosive stimulation started when I met Earl Schoaf. And he asked me, have you got a list of goals? And I said, no. And he said, then I can guess your bank balance. I thought, whoa. I immediately started studying the art. And the art and the accomplishments of it helped to change my life and qualified me to come and speak to you today. Right? You got to be qualified, right? You invite 1,000 people to come and hear what you've got to say. It's unbelievable. But all of this journey, happened for me. Now, here's the next exercise. I want you to look now at the whole list that you've written and the exercises we've done. Now I want you to answer this question. What kind of person must I become to achieve all I want? And I'll give you time to write that down now. What kind of person must I become to achieve all I want? Now we've got two things working. What you become helps you to achieve, and what you achieve helps you to become. And the more you become, the more you can achieve, and the more you achieve, the more you can become. Who knows which affects the other the most? So now just write this exercise. Start with a few sentences. We won't have time for you to, take a lot of time, but just start with a few sentences. Your concept of the person you think you must become to achieve what you want. This is time for a little truth here. Maybe you need to become much wiser than you are at the moment. You need to become stronger. You need to have better health. Maybe you need a little coaching to really become the person I want to become. I'm going to have some coaching. Physical coaching, spiritual coaching, developing skills coaching. To be the influence you want to be, you got to build an incredible reputation. What kind of person must I be to attract all that I want in my life and the people that I want and the opportunities that I want? When you knock on the door and opportunity opens, you must stand there as a very attractive person, or you may not be invited in. One of the most mysterious and unique phrases that Jesus ever used. Here's what he said. I stand at the door and knock. And if you opened the door, would you probably invite him in? This extraordinary person. You say, wow, yeah. And he said, if you invite me, I'll come in. We'll sit down. Talk things over. For you to be that kind of attractive person, that if you knocked on the door of opportunity and it opened and you stood there, would you be the kind of person that opportunity would say, come right in and sit down and let's talk about the future? Wow. What kind of person? Okay, now put a little star there. And what the star means, right, is to finish this exercise later. Now, if you're working, right, in a workshop where you've got plenty of time, you just, take a little more time for some of these exercises. My purpose now is to give you a model to work from. Okay, now next, on setting goals, jot these key notes down and then we're finished. And then we're going to talk about time management before we run out of time. Guy says I was going to cover procrastination today, but I've decided to put it off until tomorrow, right? Okay, make these notes. The key is to put everything on your list. Now the key is to take it out of your head and put it on paper. You know, you can dream about what you want, but when you start committing it to paper, now it more formalizes. Information now starts to make a composite of an idea. And ideas can turn into hotels. Ideas can turn into enterprises. Ideas can turn into a fabulous career. We need the information. We need the stimulation. But then you'll learn now later to start putting everything on your list. Now, jot this down. It's very important, if something's not that important to you, to take it off your list. You don't have to accomplish this whole list. But if you had 100 items on your list and you accomplished 80, who cares about the other 20? If you got the biggest share of what you went for, wouldn't that be enough? And the answer is probably yes. It'd be overwhelming. Okay. So you can rearrange this list. You can change it. You can tear it up and start over. You can say, oh, you know, last year I thought this was so important. That's not important to me anymore. The things I've learned in the last 12 months, I've changed my whole goal list. I thought this was so it. Okay, now here's the next note, and we're wrapping it up now. Here it is. There's two great words of antiquity everybody should learn. Here they are. One's positive and one's negative. And we studied a bit about that yesterday. Positive, negative. Here's the positive word from antiquity. Behold. That's the positive word. Behold the possibilities. Behold the opportunity. Behold the future and give it design. Behold and look at the chances you've got. Behold, spring has come. Behold, the day has arrived. And the sun is shining and the shadows are fleeing away. Behold, the next person you can meet might be your friend for life. Behold, the next person might be a colleague forever. Behold, that's the positive word, behold. Now, here's the negative word. Beware. And now I want to give you a sentence to jot down that's very valuable for this weekend session. Here's what it is. Beware of what you become in pursuit of what you want. Beware. All of our lives we have to deal with behold and beware. When a kid goes to school, it's behold the opportunity and beware the dangers. Behold and beware. So beware of what you become, pursuing what you want. Some things I went for in the very beginning cost me too much. I got so obsessed with some things that I found out later the price was too big to pay. If I would have known better, I never would have paid. But sometimes we learn when? After. So don't become so obsessed with something that you lose your sense of reason or it costs you your friends. Don't be so obsessed with something that you compromise your virtues and your values. The story says Judas got the money. You say, well, that's a success story. No. It's true, 30 pieces of silver was a sizable sum of money, but it was not a success story. His name was Judas. Doesn't that ring a bell? It makes all the difference in the world. Judas got the money. Here's something interesting about the story of Judas. After he got the money, he was unhappy. Someone says, well, if you had a fortune in your hand, would you Why would you be unhappy? And here's the key. He was not unhappy with the money. He was unhappy with himself. Here's a key phrase. The greatest source of unhappiness is self-unhappiness. It's not from outside the things that make us unhappy. The greatest devastating unhappiness is to be unhappy with yourself. Now, a mild form of unhappiness is constructive. The desperate form of unhappiness is destructive. It's like worry. We should all worry a little, but not let it destroy our lives. If you're in New York about to step off the curb in downtown Manhattan and the yellow taxi's coming, best you worry enough to get your feet back up on the curb lest you get yourself wiped out. So it's called caution, but not undue caution. It's called fear and worry, but not the worry that kills you, not the worry that destroys you. It's like hate. You know, you don't need to hate your job. Save your hate for the important things like evil, like the weeds that attack your garden, like the diabolical ideas that try to entice your children. Right? You don't need to hate everything. I hate this, I hate that. That's the misuse of your hate. Save it for the things we really must hate. But this is so important now to beware. Judas was so unhappy he tried to take the money back. They said, heck with you, we got what we wanted, you got what you wanted, out. They threw him out with his money. Now he becomes so desperate, he goes out and hangs himself for what he did. He became a traitor. So that's the caution now. If Judas could speak back to us in any kind of clear language, here's what he might say. Beware of what you become in pursuit of what you want. Don't sell out. It's not worth it. And now here's the last note. If you'll start this glorious journey of being meticulous, deliberate, and hardworking about setting your goals for the day, setting your goals for the month and the year, setting your goals for your family and yourself and your business and your colleagues, start thinking forward. Here's what you will become: a major contributor not only to yourself, but a major contributor to others. And that's exactly what you want. Here's another little subject before we quit this now and start on time management. But I am running out of time. I just mentioned it a little earlier before we started this class. Jot this down on personal development. This is especially for married people that have children. If you're married and you have children, I got some great advice for you. Here's the best I can give you. I'm not a counselor, but this is great stuff. Here's number one. If the parents are okay, the kids are okay. Chances are high, odds are high. If the parents are okay, the kids are okay. Your own self-development is the best contribution you can give to your children. Not self-sacrifice, self-development and contribution. Self-sacrifice usually earns contempt. Self-development and self-investment earns respect. I used to use the old phrase, I'll take care of you, you take care of me. I found out how short-ended that was. I changed it, and Bob Cummings, the old movie star, helped me to change it. Here it is, I'll take care of me for you if you'll take care of you for me. The best contribution I can make to you, if you're my friend, is my personal development. What if I become 10 times wiser, 10 times stronger, 10 times better, 10 times more unique? Think of what that will do for our friendship. If the parents multiply their own personal value by 2, by 3, by 5, by 10, what would that do for their children? Wow. If the parents are happy, I'm telling you the kids will be happy. If the parents engage in unique lifestyle, don't miss anything. Drink deep of the cup of whatever's available. I'm telling you, if the parents are okay, the kids are probably going to be okay. Wow. If you're on an airplane, the Stewardess says, if we run out of oxygen, these masks are going to drop down. And then she says, make sure you take care of your children first. No. Would you underline no? Would you underline no? No. Have you got that? You should take care of your children first. No. That's key. It says, put your mask on first. You take care of yourself first. Then you assist your children. And I just mentioned that would be a good title of a book, wouldn't it? For parents, put your mask on first. Isn't this good information? I couldn't wait to get here today to hear what I've got to say. I mean, this is good stuff. The best contribution to your company is your self-development. The best contribution to your husband or your wife is your personal development. To become all you can become, as wise as you can and as kind as you can and as unique as you can, that's the best contribution. Not self-sacrificing, self-development and self-investment. Key. Maybe that little talk might be worth the price of the weekend for the time and the money. It was helpful for me. Here's one more on that. With your family or whatever decisions you have to make, if you've made the decision, best decision you can, but it's going to cause some pain, here's what you must learn to do. Accept the pain, but not the guilt. There's part of our head sometimes that tries to make us feel guilty if we've made a decision that's been painful, not just for us, but maybe even for other people. But it had to be made. So here's the key: to accept the pain, but not the guilt. Because it's not pain that destroys you. It's guilt. Isn't that goal-setting session fantastic? I mean, this is life-changing stuff. Now, one of the reasons why I came to Dallas now to do this goals workshop is because I had the vision of all of you out teaching this goals workshop. I said, wow, if I can affect 1,000 people in Dallas, think of what might happen in the future if I can get everybody teaching things like this, setting goals that change your life, change your family, change your future.
So that's the amazing Jim Rohn, and I want to acknowledge all of you for staying online and really participating in the workshop, because this could really change the way that you live the rest of your life and your family's life. So I want to really acknowledge you guys for being on the call. Just a few more minutes just to cover a couple of questions that I'd like to leave you with before you head out. You've done a lot of work today. If you want more information on Jim Rohn, this is his website. If you're in a position to order his material, get his workshops, and just I'll give you an example of what my Upline President's team member Bruce Gilling told me. He said, listen to Jim Rohn for a year, all day, every day. Turn off the radio, turn off the TV, don't listen to anything else, just listen to Jim Rohn for a year, and that'll change your life, and that certainly did. So just a few short questions. This is something that you may want to consider. We're at the beginning of the year. Make the decision for yourself, and then share this with whoever's coaching you, whoever your mentor is. And look at your income goals that you want for the next 30 days, the next 90 days, your next 6 months, year. Really focus on that and write it down so that you can be clear on what you're working towards. And then look at that income and see where that positions you in regard to what position you are in the marketing plan and where you want to get there. When you want to get there to earn that income. So please write this down. If you don't write down what you want and when you want it, you don't know how to put a plan together to get to that level. And really work with the people that are coaching you. It may not even be your upline. It may be somebody else that you're working with in a group. Get the support of other distributors. Like this Recruit system I don't know how many different organizations are using this recruit system. I wouldn't even hesitate, try to guess, but it's probably 30, 40, 50, 100 different organizations using this training structure, and we're all working together to try and fulfill our own dreams and to fulfill the dreams of people that we're working with. So choose the time that you want to qualify and really go for it. Just a few things coming up which I'd like to share with you guys. I know it's pretty late, but I know it's been worth it for all of you that have been on the call. If the next slide comes up, that'll be great. We've had a few technical challenges, so again, no problem in Herbalife. Who knows what's happening with this slide? But there are a couple of things coming on. Slides went on quickly. Yeah. A couple of things that are maybe coming on if this slide presentation comes on board, which I wanted to just talk with you about. So I'll just share with you a little bit about it. If I can find the slides. That most of us have got spectaculars around the world. If you don't know what a spectacular is, either in January or February, in most countries it's January, there are events that the top distributors in the region come around and actually help us get clear on what we need to do to achieve our goals. They bring us the latest information, they bring us the latest daily method of operation, they lay out the plan for the year so that we can work together and actually go to the next level. So that's incredibly important for what we're doing in our businesses. This is like the board meeting at the beginning of the year to lay out the plan for our organizations and for ourselves. The next thing that I want to talk about is on Wednesday we have a live online HOM with President's team member Eric Depp from France. Now Eric Depp is one of the most brilliant presenters and trainers in Herbalife worldwide. I've known Eric for many, many years, and he's crystal clear on helping people see what's possible for themselves. So there's going to be an online HOM through the recruit system, which all I can say is New Year's resolutions. People are looking at improving their health, improving their lifestyle, making more money, looking at changes. Eric Depp is one of the people that you'd want to put in front of your people to talk to them personally, and you get a chance to do that on Wednesday, this Wednesday coming up, January 5th. So watch the recruit system websites, check your emails, make sure that you're on the HOM there, the online HOM, and get your people in front of Eric Depp. He's just an incredible communicator and very clear on what's possible, and he'll be talking about the opportunity in Herbalife coming up with what's happening. And then on Monday, who of you would like to know how to get free business? Let me just ask that question. Anybody on here would like to learn about getting free business? If somebody can type. Nobody wants to learn free business? Yeah? Who wants free business? Anybody? Okay. Well, on Monday we're going to have an online training on how to build your business to the President's team level with Circle of Influence and doing shake parties. Now, this is an executive President's team member from Taiwan, one of the fastest growing distributorships in the world, in Asia, and he's an executive President's team member, Mr. Brian Chen, and he is a master at not only doing the business this way, but also teaching the business, and we've been really fortunate to be able to get him to invest some of his time early on in the year to come and share with us how to work Circle of Influence and how to work the business through shake parties and duplicating it. So that's on Monday the 10th of January. That's Monday the 10th of January, so put that in your diary as well. That's going to be at exactly the same time that we started tonight. So on closing, I'm not sure what's happened to the slides. I am not a technical person, so all I can see on the thing here is this thing going round and round and round and round and round and round, so I don't know what that means. But, you know, I just want to close. If you aim at nothing, that's what you'll hit. Jim Rohn used to talk about that a lot. So if you really aim at nothing, you know, that's what you'll hit. The other thing is that Jim Rohn always talked about is if you set your goals too low, you don't need much and you won't become much. And this is a lot about becoming. Herbalife Jim Rohn used to talk about Herbalife as the accelerated game of life. It allows you to develop yourself to the fullest of your potential through everything we have to become to be successful in this business. And then finally, if you want to write these words down,